this is Gilbert Gottfried, and this has been Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast with my co-host Frank Santopadre, and this is... I fucked that up.
Yes, you were signing off.
This is Gilbert and Frank's Amazing... Oh, my God. Oh, I'm sorry. What is my name?
Maybe it helps if you sing it.
Could someone help me home?
It's come to that.
I feel like Henry Fonda on Golden Pond.
Regarding Harrison Ford and regarding Henry.
Well, let's pick those blueberries together.
Oh.
Yes, Harrison
Shall we start
Ford.
again?
Yeah, no, I like that begin.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Harrison Ford in Regarding Henry.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of movies that came out at the same time. Harrison Ford becomes a better husband and father and all-around man because he gets shot in the head and brain damage.
Yes.
There was another movie where Richard Crenna, a TV movie,
Oh, God.
Richard Crenna becomes a better policeman and man because he gets raped.
Oh, the Richard Beck.
Yes.
The rape of Richard Beck.
He
Yes.
gets raped, so he's a much better man after that. And then I think William Hurt in The Doctor
Correct.
becomes a better doctor, husband,
He gets
and
a
human
brain
being.
tumor?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's got brain cancer.
Right. What would you call that subgenre?
It's called if something really awful happens to you, be glad about it.
Become a better, be a better dad. Wow, that Richard Crenna reference. That's a movie Dave Boone and I have spoken about many times. Okay. And I guess I'll start. I want to talk about, last week I spoke about a Jack the Ripper picture, and I'm going to do it again. This is a movie called Time After Time, and I know this is a movie you know, starring Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell was one of the hosts on Saturday Night Live.
That's right.
The season I was
That's right.
on.
Did you get on with him? Did you get along with him?
Did I get it on?
Not
with
did you get it on
Yeah,
with him. Did you?
I got it on with him.
Did you get along with him?
Yeah, we were a little drunk.
Were you in a sketch together?
Yeah, it was. Well, that was a horrible.
I
season,
know.
but-
You've purged it from your memory banks.
Yeah, but there actually in that episode is the one sketch of Saturday Night Live that there's been horrendous sketches, but of up there, if they picked the top 5 at least, this would definitely make
The
it.
bottom 5.
It was called the Jack the Stripper
Wow.
episode.
Wow.
And it was like a Sherlock Holmes type movie.
Wow.
Where the men dressed up as women and the women as men. And it was about a guy, instead of being Jack the Ripper, he was Jack the Stripper.
It's a wordplay.
Yeah, it was quite jaw-droppingly awful.
Well, that was 1980. Is it possible that because that he made Time After Time in '79 and it's a Jack the Ripper movie, that's what they were going for?
Maybe.
Let's do a Malcolm McDowell Jack the Ripper thing. Maybe somebody saw the movie.
Who the hell knows?
It's a terrific movie.
Oh, yes.
Written by Nicholas Meyer, who we talked about the 7% Solution last week, which he wrote.
And he plays H.G. Wells.
He plays H.G. Wells, who has a time machine, and he goes back into the time machine to track. He goes forward in the time machine to track Jack the Ripper, played by the other great British actor, David Warner.
Oh, yes.
From The Omen and Time Bandits.
And Straw Dogs.
Straw Dogs, an actor we've talked about a couple of times.
And my best friend was a vampire.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. He'd be great for the show, by the way, David Warner.
Quick, get him on the phone.
They both would be. And it's actually the movie where Malcolm McDowell met his future wife, Mary Steenburgen.
Oh, yes.
They would marry and fall in love and marry. It's a terrific film. It's part fish out of water comedy because H.G. Wells is lost in modern-day San Francisco. There's a great scene where he goes into a McDonald's and tries to order a meal. There's some comedy. There's some social commentary. It's a terrific movie. I love McDowell. He was never better than he is in this movie. Oh, please try to overlook the cheesy special effects. When they travel in time, it's a fun movie. It's a popcorn movie. And somebody described it as an outrageously implausible tale done to perfection. And I think that's an apt description. So my movie this week, Time After Time. And you?
Now, my movie, oddly enough,
will not be a comedy.
No, will not be a comedy, obviously. And it also has to do with H.G. Wells.
You're kidding.
This is so weird.
Just a coincidence, because
Yes.
we don't know. We should tell the listeners we don't know each other's movies when we sit down to
and
start.
now I heard that H.G. Wells hated the Jews.
Really?
Yes. Which puts him in good company with Oscar Wilde and William Shakespeare.
And Paul Lynde.
And Paul Lynde.
Right. This seems to be a thread.
And John Wayne.
Himmler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Himmler.
Could go either way.
No, this was based on a book by H.G. Wells, and it was made into a movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
No, and actually, the book was The Island
Right,
of
yeah,
Dr.
you weren't going to
Moreau.
recommend the one with Burt Lancaster or the Brando one, which is worse.
The Brando one,
Right.
I would recommend just for something that you stare at.
Yeah, it's an unintentional comedy.
And go, oh my God, what has happened? The Brando one is great for that reason.
Incomprehensible.
For everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
With Val Kilmer.
Brando, well, it actually influenced the Austin Powers film.
That's right.
Of him having a tiny mini-me.
That's right.
And
that's good trivia.
And Brando, of course, weighs 7,000 pounds in it.
That's right. He was the island.
He has white makeup
He played
on
the island.
and wears a metal bucket of ice on his head.
It's that great period of Brando's career where he could, like the Missouri Breaks, where he would just do whatever he wanted to do and just play it strange.
And the directors would go, well, we can't tell him not to because he is Brando.
I think it was Frankenheimer. I think it was the great John Frankenheimer who directed that picture. And there's an earlier one with Burt Lancaster in the 70s.
Yes, and that one's also awful.
Yes.
Not awful, but in the way the Brando one, but just not good.
So if I may jump the gun here, you're recommending the original with Charles Lawton, The Island of Lost Souls.
Charles Lawton and my boy Bela Lugosi.
It's a good one. I just saw it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that one is the first made out of that book and still the best and the creepiest. And it's like in the Brando the Brando version and the Lancaster version, they really zoom in on all the monsters. Look at these monster makeups.
Right.
In this version, it's very quick.
It's atmospheric, this movie. But it probably didn't have the budget to do that kind of monster makeup.
And it's like so the monsters are shown really fast and they go in and out and it's much creepier that way.
Right.
And Charles Lawton based his portrayal of this evil mad scientist on his dentist. He said,
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow.
Which lets you know.
That's like weirder than Ed Wood's, what was it, his chiropractor? Or the guy that replaced Lugosi in Plan 9?
And I think there were complaints about it where I think they were saying they were going to censor it or stop its release, saying in Britain, saying this is against the laws of nature.
Oh, yes.
And Charles Lawton's wife, Elsa Lancaster, the bride of Frankenstein herself.
Right. Lanchester.
I always got that.
Right.
Yeah. Elsa Lanchester, who is Lawton's wife, she said, well, Mickey Mouse is against the laws of nature.
She was right.
And Lugosi is like the leader of the animal people. He's almost unrecognizable.
It's creepy.
Covered in hair. And he's the lawgiver.
Right.
And he always goes to them, what is the law? And they go, not to spill blood. That is the law. Are we not men? What is the law? Not to run on all fours. the distiller, are we not men?
It's incredible the stuff you remember.
Yes. And they've got creepy scenes in the House of Pain.
Mm-hmm.
And where there are scenes where also you just see bits and pieces of like surgical equipment and screams.
It's almost expressionistic, that movie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't made by Universal.
Was Earl Kenton the director? Earl C. Kenton?
Oh, I'm not sure.
We'll have to look that up.
We'll
For
have to
some
look
reason,
that
that
one
name's
up.
popping into my head. I could be way the hell off base. But it's spooky, and I saw it recently.
Yeah.
It's creepy, and Lawton's very effective.
Yeah, and it holds up.
He's an actor
really
I love.
well. Yes.
And also directed a terrific movie, The Night of the Hunter.
Oh, yes.
Which
yes,
we'll have
with
to
Robert Mitchum.
Which we'll have to talk about on a future
and
show.
Charles Lawton was a
Well, you just told us he was married to Elsa Lanchester.
Oh, yes.
What could you possibly be referring to?
He was a real he-man, we'll say, Charles Lawton. He was quite the skirt chaser. Charles Lawton had an eye for the ladies. Like to look at the opposite sex.
I see. So the beard and Lugosi didn't have the only beard in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this week, Time After Time and Island of Lost Souls, the original movie based on H.G. Wells' Island of Dr. Moreau, not the Lancaster or hilarious Brand. If you need to laugh, the Brando version.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.